Michael Zdanovich. Um, I was an adjunct instructor with Into from 2018 to 20 through 2020. And I applied for the Mason Korea position in, I think it was end of October, early November, and they agreed to send me shortly thereafter. And I taught then at Mason Korea from, I think it was the tail end of February all the way through the end, practically the end of August. So I taught the spring semester and then a summer term. But prior to that, I've taught for other universities, not English, something quite different, East Asian studies and political science. And so I've got experience elsewhere and overseas as well, an emphasis on overseas teaching. I worked with them back in for the CIES, Council for International Educational Exchange, in Washington, D.C. from, I'm trying to remember, 2008 to 2010, maybe 11. I'm not sure. It was a while back. But yeah, I facilitated exchanges between Asia and the US. In the Fulbright thing, we did an orientation for everybody leaving for all those destinations, everywhere from Egypt to India to Korea. I think it was a 3-day affair in DC. And I thought at the time, this is a great opportunity for folks just to hear, for example, war stories, where, the faculty who've already been overseas have come back from a Fulbright, have a chance to hear what they say, because a lot of what they did say in those sessions, of course, can't be put into print or into a formal video or anything like that. But it's just great to have that opportunity for interaction, to hear these folks and then be able to ask questions. Because many of the faculty are going overseas for the first time. Yeah, well, these are for folks who've already been selected to go overseas. So we've got I don't know how many would be in attendance at this, maybe 300 plus attending the orientation in DC. And we'd have various sessions throughout the day. The faculty returning, that session kind of came at the tail end of the 3 days. But the rest of it was taken up by going through relevant paperwork, talking about taxes, talking about the issues surrounding, what is the phrase for it? I can't believe I've forgotten. Just the emotions that you're going to feel. You're going to be on a high initially, and then you're going to go into this curve and perhaps hit a period where you're depressed because so much of what you're seeing is unfamiliar to you. But then you kind of go up a bit and level off. And I don't know, it's a Friday afternoon. I can't remember the name of it. But they talked about what people might feel of being overseas. So they did some very basic sorts of things, a lot of breakout sessions, so faculty could talk with other faculty about, their needs, their fears, whatnot. I know I spent a bit of time talking to them about how Fulbright supports faculty, and my comments were rather specific because I talked to folks who were going to Asia Pacific destinations. So it was a smaller session, but it was like going to any sort of academic conference. You could pick and choose what it was that you wanted to attend. Any particular session. We didn't take attendance, but I found virtually everybody showing up, you know, and sticking right through breakfast, lunch, into dinner. I'm certainly more cognizant of cultural differences, and I'm a little more careful about not stepping on toes now that I'm attuned to certain cultural sensitivities that my students might have, foreign students I'm talking about. Yeah, again, the international experience there is one that I think all faculty should go through at some point in their career.